So with that, ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Stanton.
Thank you, Dr. Gallagher, for those kind words. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Lakeside staff and the Vantage Academy staff who do a terrific job. I've been lucky enough to work with a few staff members and had many meaningful experiences, and thank you for creating such meaningful experiences for the students in our school district. To the graduates, congratulations on this accomplishment. It's something obviously that it is the culmination of your educational experience when it comes to K to 12th. And I do want to take a moment for you guys just to think about your parents, your mothers, your fathers, your guardians, your aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, anyone that helped you along the way, because you're here today not just because of your own efforts, but someone helped you along the way. So I do want to take a moment for you to think about that and make sure you thank them here today, or when you go home, to give them a call and thank them to help, who have helped you along your journey. When asked to speak, I try to think of things that you guys could potentially grab onto and take into your life. And as I leave here today with my principal, Sam Verano, at the end of this, I'm probably going to get yelled at because it's a violation of his speeches. He said, don't ever talk about yourself. But I am going to share some things about myself here today to shed light on some of the concepts that hopefully you guys can garner from today and take into your own lives as you close this chapter and open a new chapter into your new life. I'm going to give you three things, and the first thing is control the controllables. Control the controllables. As you know, there's so many things in your life that you're not going to be able to control. You can't control your friends, you can't control your teammates, you can't control your classmates, you can't control coworkers, parents. If you work really hard, sometimes you can't even control your performance. But there are things that you can control. You can control your attitude, you can control your effort, and you can control your response to failure. Simon Sinek, who's a business leader and an education leader, says, don't be a victim of your circumstance, rather be an architect of your response. Don't be a victim of your circumstance, be an architect of your response. And I know all of you, we all have our own circumstances. We all are going to, and not just the graduates, everybody in this room is going through something or has a family member going through something. And it's human nature for us to become a victim and to think of the negative things that are going on in our life. But my challenge for you is to be an architect of your response and find positivity in order to bounce back. One story that resonates with me in my high school career is when I played basketball my junior year at LaSalle High School. We were a very good team, and I was starting on the team. In the first 10 games of the season, I'm averaging 15 points a game, and we're doing really well. My best friend was suspended from the team, and he came back after 10 games, and he jumped into the lineup. He played really well that first game back. Second game back, he played terrific, and he took my starting spot, and I sat on the bench the rest of the season. Didn't play at all. And there was a lot of tears and a lot of frustration and a lot of disappointment, but I'll never forget my parents never allowed me to be a victim of my circumstance. They never allowed me to blame it on the coach or blame it on my teammates, rather pushed me to work hard. And I look back at that experience from high school. I went and played in college, led the country in scoring, and played professional basketball. Certainly that took a lot of work, but it was more about the failure, as was alluded to earlier. It was more about that response to the failure. So my challenge is all of you are that's one guarantee, in the next year, in the next 30 years of your life, you are going to be faced with a lot of failure. And instead of being a victim of that circumstance, be the architect of the response. The second thing is find your passion. In every single graduation commencement speech, some semblance is going to be talking about, or some thematic element is going to be talking about your passion. And it's easy for me to sit up here and tell you graduates, go find your passion, find something you love to do. Well, how do you do that? What does it feel like? What does it look like? To be honest with you, I don't know. There's no magic potion. There's no secret that I can give you to go find your passion. But one thing I can tell you is to embrace the squiggle. Embrace the squiggle. So in first grade, you go to second grade, third grade, then we jump to middle school, high school. There's been a matriculation, a transition from grade to grade you guys have experienced the last 12 years of your life. And then our society sometimes pushes us into, you go to school, you get a job, you work 30 years, and then you go to a 55 plus community, which I'm looking forward to because I don't like to weed and mulch and mow grass. But in that mindset that sometimes we get pushed into by our society, we lose that opportunity of our passion. And my challenge to you is to embrace that squiggle. It's not always going to be a linear path. As Dr. Dr. Gallagher alluded to my career, I've been all over the place. I traveled the world, and I came back from playing professional basketball. I was an electrician for a little bit, and then I was a teacher for 2 years at Southern High School as an English teacher. And I'll never forget, after my second year, I told my mentor teacher, who was working with me for 2 years, I said, I'm going to resign, and I'm going to go coach college basketball. And I'll never forget, he said, Dennis, at some point, you need to grow up and get a job and have a stable job and be an adult. And he was right. But I went and coached college basketball and failed at that, and it wasn't for me, it wasn't for my family, and I was blessed with this opportunity to come back to Southern Area School District as the athletic director. But I look back on that time, because when I work now, I found my passion, and it was because of the squiggle. Electrician, professional basketball player, coach. I did a lot of different things and failed at a lot of different things. And now Sunday night when I go to bed, I can't wait to put my jersey on Monday morning and go to work. I love it. But it wasn't because of just getting a job and working for 30 years. The next job you have, you might not love, you might not like, but you're gonna have to embrace that squiggle and find different things until you figure out what you love to do, because that's where fulfillment lies. And the third thing is, and you guys have learned this in preschool and kindergarten, and you've known it your entire lives, but it's something that many of us, including myself, fail on. And that's be a nice person. Be a nice person. I say to our student athletes all the time, do you know how easy it is to be a nice person for the rest of your life? And there's so many people that fail at that. As humans, envy gets in the way, greed gets in the way, anger gets in the way. But for the nice people, the people that are nice for their entire life, people root for them, people promote them, people hire them, people want to be around those people. And there's many successful people in this world that are not nice people. And I guarantee you, they lack fulfillment. And going back to control the controllables, being a nice person is something that all of us can do and all of us can control. So in closing, those are the three things that I truly believe all of us can do, all graduates, including everybody in this room. And as you close this chapter of your educational career, whether it was filled with 12 years of success and unbelievable grades, or whether it was filled with 12 years of squiggling and fighting and grinding, the world does not care what you did the last 12 years. And I'm an educator and I love education, and I don't like saying that. But if you failed the last 12 years or you succeeded the last 12 years, the world doesn't care. All of you have an open book that you can control the controllables and be a nice person and embrace the squiggle and do whatever you want. I know this sounds so cliche and cheesy and corny. All of you can do whatever you want moving forward. Doesn't matter what you did the last 12 years. And that's my challenge to every single one of you, is to write your own script and control your own destiny for the rest of your life. Thank you all for your time.